Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything. Another day, another flag. Drawing every country in the world's flag. And today, going back into Europe, and we're going to be doing the former Czechoslovakia country. So I got two options here. Which one do you think it is? It's going to be not the Czech Republic, Slovakia. Alright, so Slovakia, kind of proof of what happens when things maybe you're just not getting along, and sometimes you just need to split, right? And in America, right, we're always taught that secession or self-determination, it always has to result in violence, right? You can't go off and do your own thing. You know, we're supposed to be one country. Says who? Says me. And then violence happens. But not in this place. So a little bit different story here with the former Czechoslovakia. And Slovakia is what we'll be focusing on today. So it traces its roots back to the 9th century. Moravian people, a great state of Moravia. And then the Slovaks there become part of the Hungarian kingdom, where they remained for 1,000 years. And then after the formation of the Habsburg Austro-Hungarian monarchy in the 19th century, Hungarians kind of become more of like a favored class, and that kind of creates some resentment with the Slovak people. And this kind of Hungarian favorism is called Magyarization, so it leads to a bit of a public backlash against the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and boosted Slovak nationalism, right, and strengthened their cultural ties with the Czechs, right, their future roommates. I was going to say future neighbors, but they already were neighbors, right? So the future roommates, they were going to share a country together, and these were the early stages of their relationship here. So, and the Czechs kind of were more a part of like the Austrian part, and then going into modern times, right, modernity here, the 20th century, early 20th century, World War I, all the empires go kaputski, and Austria-Hungary no different. So what are we going to do with all these former subjects, right? And then they said, well, let's make a state of Czechoslovakia. So we'll join the Slavs and the Czechs. We'll just push them together and then just see what happens. So it's kind of like that old show, like The Real World or something, right? When you take people that have nothing in common and you just mash them together and see what happens. No, they had a little bit in common. It wasn't completely unnatural, right? So they both kind of had some resentment towards Austria-Hungary, and they had both had some young burgeoning nationalist movements. So didn't last too long. You already had some Slovak nationalist leaders pushing for autonomy within Czechoslovakia, and then when Germany, in the lead up to World War II, annexes the Sudetenland, basically that's kind of what leads to the Slovak Republic becoming a client state of Germany, right? So Czechoslovakia, they're on that side of the fence for things for the most part. So they did participate in Barbarossa, right, against the Soviet Union, and then World War II happens, and then this place was basically just put back together, right? The Czechs and the Slovaks as Czechoslovakia, and they fell under communist rule, right, for a few centuries. So, and all the stuff that comes with that, right? The mass killings, the collectivization of agriculture, which always leads to massive starvation and death. But some of the notable leaders of like the early Czechoslovakia as well would be like Thomas Masaryk and Eduard Beneš, right? So those were kind of like the fathers of Czechoslovakia. And, the United States was offering Marshall Plan aid, right, to any European country that was looking to rebuild, basically, after World War II. And Czechoslovakia, they put their hands out and said, give me some of that. And that basically made them, that did not look good in Stalin's eyes, right? So that's when a lot of show trials and all that nonsense kind of started, because you were allying with the capitalist pigs, accepting their dirty money when they were supposed to be under communist rule, right? So they were supposed to enjoy all of the starvation and everything that comes with that. So yeah, Czechoslovakia, not a good time under communism. And then they do become they try to put a different face on socialism, right? Socialism with a human face or whatever. So that was kind of like a big thing in the late 60s. So they tried to liberalize a little bit, but so this is after Stalin's death. So maybe, if you try to do that under Stalin, forget about it. Right, you're gonna have tanks come in. But communism's already it's still favored by the intellectual class, but I think people kind of know at this point that it doesn't work. All right, so Czechoslovakia, they're known for gaining independence peacefully from the Soviet Union. And this is a little point of contention, because if this was like the Soviet Union of the 30s and the 40s, that would have never happened. Just the fact that the Soviets were embarrassed so much by Afghanistan in the 80s when they tried getting that to pop off. It made Czechoslovakia look at it and say, hey, it's these guys just lost, well, not lost, but pretty much lost to a bunch of goat farmers. So let's see what we can do about gaining our independence here. So they had this thing called the Velvet Revolution, right? So a peaceful revolution that booted out the commies, right? So this is late 80s, 1989. So that whole house of cards is about to collapse pretty soon anyway. So Czechoslovakia gets out when the going gets good, and because this place was always kind of just didn't really make sense as a country, right? Czechoslovakia. So a couple years later, they split up, right? They had a peaceful divorce. So the Velvet Divorce. So instead of an unnatural Czechoslovakia shoved together, forced to live with each other, right? They said, you know what? We got no issues with you guys. You got no issues with us. Let's just peacefully separate. And that's what they did, right? Not a shot was fired. January 1st, 1993, that's basically when it was finalized. So now you got Slovakia and the Czech Republic. And then Slovakia has been part of all the, all the modern European trade zones and alliances pretty much ever since. So NATO, the EU, the Eurozone. So they're a functioning participant of the European branch of the international community. And yeah, it's kind of just one of those examples of countries' borders, depending on how they're put together, right? If it's if it's unnatural or something, there's no real reason to keep them together, right? If you have autonomous places within inside a country, and can go their own ways, right? And they can always stay friendly as far as defense and trade and things like that if they want to. But yeah, people just act like all the countries in the world just, they're just, from the dawn of time, they're just magically like a Czechoslovakia border, or you know. So that is Slovakia. Gotta remember not to write Slovenia, right? To get those two confused. Similar flags too. But yeah, that's Slovakia. So what is the flag all about, James? Well, so you got the Pan-Slav colors, right? You got the white, the blue, and the red. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that whenever we do Russia. But yeah, they don't really have any like official meaning, the Pan-Slav colors of 19th century Russia. And then you have the Slovakian coat of arms in the middle. So we like the coat of arms here, right? So you got a red shield bordered in white, and it's bearing a white double-barred cross of Saint Cyril and Saint Methodius, right, on 3 blue hills. So that is that. All right, so pretty neat little flag. And let me just get rid of my pencil lines here so you can see it a little bit better. And yeah, that's Slovakia. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.